You've had a couple of very heavy red wine dive bar evenings.
Oh, yeah. You guys, look, I mean, yeah.
We are the old people that I once looked at the bar.
Welcome to Bitch Talk. I'm your host, Erin.
And I'm co-host Ange, a.k.a. Captain Party.
And for more than 11 years, the show has celebrated underrepresented voices in pop culture and beyond.
But not in the snore kind of way, which is why our listeners and followers have graciously voted us Best of the Bay, Best Podcast on 48 Hills for 3 years in a row. Three-peat, bitches.
If you like what you hear, follow us on Instagram and check out our website, Bitch Talk Podcast, and rate us wherever you listen to podcasts.
We're begging you to judge us. When does that ever happen? Oh, you're not going to say anything?
Oh, what'd I say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, on that note, on with the show. Clink.
Okay, well, howdy there.
Hey, everyone.
We have not done this since March.
Yeah.
And the last time you heard from us as a basic was in Austin.
With South by Southwest,
and
yes.
we collectively have not recovered from that trip. That is
very
not
ambitious.
a lie. That
It was
is
very
not
ambitious.
a lie. I'm still napping like minimum 1 hour a day. And sometimes if I don't get home till like 6, I'll nap at 6. I'm not afraid.
Oh, I am. Just go to bed at that point.
Yeah, and then maybe I wake up at 2 a.m. and then I'm up till 5.
Then you go to the bar. I don't know.
Been,
No, you wouldn't.
no, it's been a really busy first quarter of the year.
But it normally is.
We've had a crazy quarter.
And somehow this year we were like a little more intentional with our time and didn't travel to Sundance, but still covered it virtually, but we're still tired.
Right.
It's fine. Everything's
didn't
fine.
matter.
Didn't matter.
But so since then, I will say one exciting thing that I did that I wanted to talk about was I saw Ali Wong finally, which my friend here has seen her twice. You've seen her twice.
Yeah, I think you should back up because that night was spectacular for you,
That's true.
by the way.
But if you haven't heard, go back and listen to Freaky Tales.
Yeah.
The red carpet.
But it was the same night as
Grand Lake Theater.
Ange going to see Ali Wong in a small club.
That was my back-to-back evening. I was like, if I die tonight, it's fine. Mm-hmm. It's totally fine. Because I saw Pedro Pascal. I asked Too Short to call me bitch or something.
No, you said...
Can I get a bitch?
Yeah, and then he was like, literally, I can get you one at 10:30.
I got offered a bitch. And then I saw Ali Wong at the Punchline. I was like in the second row at the Punchline, which in San Francisco, it's like the best comedy club. It's the most intimate comedy club. When you think of the quintessential comedy club, this is it. Like low ceilings, city backdrop.
Right.
Very few seats. And not only that, but her openers, one of them was Shang Wang, which we knew because that's our friend and we saw him a couple months ago. But it was also Frankie Quinones, who's like also my friend, which he's Creeper. He was part of our 500th episode. He's been on Bitch Talk before. And so it was
He's in the show This Full, which you haven't watched. If you haven't watched it yet, you should watch it. It's on Hulu. It's very good.
So it was just an all-around magical evening. And then to cap it all off, she's touring because she's practicing her set for her next special. Mm-hmm. So she's trying to get, fodder for her special. And so a part of her stand-up was Q&A. She let the audience ask questions. And so I got to ask her a question too, it was fine. It was like, I told her that I loved seeing her in film and TV and who was her dream co-host and dream genre. And she said she's already worked with her dream co-host, which was...
You mean scene partner?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, did I say co-host?
We're co-hosts.
Oh, we are co-hosts.
Yeah.
That's right.
We're tired.
You're my other half.
Yeah.
The other half of my bitch. Or
the other half of your nightmare.
The nightmare.
Anyways,
sometimes.
thank you.
The source
Same.
Source
You're welcome.
sees. Okay, now we're going to fight.
Yep.
I'm going to throw this coffee at you.
Nope. Don't waste free coffee.
So Stephen Yeun was her dream co-star.
Co-star.
And I was
That's
like,
the word.
oh, yeah, he smells real good. I was trying to throw it in there that he's been on Bitch Talk.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you've met him? And I was like, yeah, casual.
Casually.
Casual. And then
Super
her
cash.
dream genre is she wants to be like a John Wick kick-ass, but have a body double and a stunt person do all
Well,
that.
yeah, of course. You have to.
But anyway,
Legally.
she capped off the night by inviting Bill Hader on stage.
Her boyfriend.
And then,
so cute.
And then he did a Q&A, which was adorable. And the only thing I remember from that was somebody asked, because she'd mentioned in her stand-up, one of the jokes was she's dating someone who had never dated an Asian woman before. And so someone asked him, what's it like dating an Asian woman? And he said, oh, I never realized how often I'm getting ripped off for things. Because she's always like...
She's wheeling and dealing.
Yeah, and she joked because he bought a car at cost in cash off the lot. And she was like, you didn't haggle? You know,
Yeah,
so it was this
especially
whole
if you have
thing.
cash.
It's this whole thing about how he doesn't haggle enough, and it was hilarious. So anyway, that was kind of the best night of the last half of my life.
Can we back up very quickly? Because I told Ange that was going to be the last night that I ever adult in my life. Because...
Why weren't you there?
Right,
Aaron,
Freaky
Lynn?
Tales. So we were pitched that red carpet weeks in advance, and if I haven't talked about this already, I'm a part of a audio academy, and you sign up for, you got to be there weekly and then every other week for different things because they pay you also. Getting paid to learn. So it fell on a night where I had to be at my seminar, but I did ask the person that kept emailing us about the press line, like, any updates to who's showing up on the red carpet? Because if it was Pedro, I would totally have been there, because when are we ever going to see him again? We will, but I don't know when. And they never, ever, he was never part of it. I had a feeling. I told Ange, and I told my partner, Jeff, who helped Ange on the red carpet, I'm like, I have a feeling he's going to show up. I just have it.
But
Guess what?
But I would also argue the lineup was not shabby, even without Pedro Pascal.
I know.
And another error that she made, not to pour salt in your wound, but
Thank you.
You didn't watch the film. If you'd watched it, I didn't realize that you hadn't watched it, but like, there's so much to talk about with that film. It's so it's just, if you're from the Bay especially, but even if you're not, it's just such a fun movie, and there's so much to talk about. And it's the 80s, 90s, it's the 80s, set in the late 80s. Anyway,
87.
If you haven't watched it yet, it's out in theaters, select theaters, but yeah, had you watched it, I think you would have been like, I gotta go to the red carpet.
Yeah, it was still, look.
But anyways,
I made up my mind, and Ange did a great job, and that's all I'll say about that.
So she'll never be an adult again.
Yeah.
Welcome to my life.
Yeah.
Peter Pan forever.
Yeah. Let's see. We've seen Sinners, which was very fun in IMAX. We're not going to say anything else about that.
I will say one thing. 2 Michael B. Jordans is better than 1. I accept.
Yeah.
Next time, make them triplets.
Oh. We're at that. We didn't even talk about where we're at.
Oh.
We're covering the 68th annual San Francisco International Film Festival right now. We're in their lounge. It's very nice. We just spoke with the director who, we're just going to say it, there's a bitch talk bump there. I mean, he's already doing great things in his own right, but the movie that he made is called 40 Acres. His name's R.T. Thorne.
And it's going to be, this is Sinners, 40 Acres. This is the future of
cinema.
film. And if
Genre.
you think there's no good films out there, there are. Go to film festivals. The independent film game is on fire right now.
Yep. And speaking of Sinners, should I share my Sinners story?
Is that what we're doing now? Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just a lot. I'll shorten it.
You have to.
And I also, I'm not going to throw Draymond Green under the bus, but I am.
You are.
No.
You have to.
No, I can't. Let's just say, money changes everyone, and it's almost always not for the good. Some of it's good, but not good. But I had to deal with Draymond Green and water spilled and in a very crowded theater for Sinners. But on the flip side of that,
the Oakland premiere.
Yeah, in 70 millimeter, which was rad.
Who, if you don't know about Sinners, Ryan Coogler is the director, based from Oakland, knows everyone in Oakland.
Knows everybody.
So you can imagine how crazy.
It was nutso. But it was fun. But one of my most favorite musicians, singer-songwriter, producer, has a song in Sinners. His name is Raphael Sadiq. He's part of Tony, one of my favorite bands of my whole entire life, and they're from Oakland. And so Raphael Sadiq was there, which was like that. Ryan was there, and I've known Ryan for a long time, and I wanted to see him. That was the thing. But I didn't know Raphael Sadiq was going to be there, and he was there, and it was crazy.
Did you? I wish you would have told him, or maybe you did, that you went to see him with your friends and you had such a good time that your husband
didn't.
bought you to go alone.
Yeah.
Like the next week.
No. Yeah.
Tony. Like, that's love.
Yeah.
If that's not love.
At some point, I'll share that with him. I did get to talk to him at the after party. It was magical, and got to talk to Ryan for a little bit. And let's just say, there might be a Ryan Coogler episode in the works in the very near future. Finally, we've been trying to get him on the show since, when was that? The end of 2013 and 14. We were at an event that he was throwing that I had helped him put together, but he just would not get on the mic. We had Boots Riley on, no big deal, but Ryan wouldn't get on the mic, and
I think he's better sit down.
Yeah.
Interview anyway, you know?
Right. But anyway, so for all y'all who are fans of Ryan Coogler and everything he's done, he'll finally be on Bitch Talk.
But that's not to say, like, every time he sees Aaron, he freaks out. He gives you the biggest hug. He's got so much love for you. It's really sweet. And every time. We actually do. We see him. We've seen him like 3 times since then.
I guess that's true.
At Sundance red carpets, for the Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Premiere. I've seen him with you 2 or 3 times after that. And
Yeah.
he always gives you a really big hug.
He does.
So it's sweet. It's just
nuts.
to get him to sit down and have an interview, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But he's love,
busy.
And his intention is there for sure.
Yeah. But I do want to say someone that was at that party who helped produce Ryan's first film, Fruitvale Station, we were just talking about the state of film. And I'm bringing that up since we're at the International Film Festival, and Ange said go to film festivals. You really should. Like, you're going to see really great films. But the state of making films is hard right now. And he actually said to me, he's like, it's like the studios are punishing us for the strike. And I was like, yeah, probably. I mean, these are corporations that just want to capitalize on stories and filmmaking and what's going to make the most money. And if these people are rising up against that and want to tell different stories, yeah. But what I told him was there's a lot of great independent films being made right now. And case in point, like Sean Baker won the Academy Award for Anora, which I still haven't seen, so sorry. But just it matters if you're watching movies and if you're going to the theater. That's all I'm going to say. So if there's something that catches your eye, like we're talking about Freaky Tales, we're talking about Sinners, The Wedding Banquet just came out. Like, even if you're like, oh yeah, that looks good, take your friends and go. You're going to be off your phone. You're going to be in an audience with other folks. Then afterwards, this is my favorite part, you get to go out and talk about the film. Or like, what did you feel? What did you think? Did you love it? Did you not? What did you love about it? So, yeah.
It is true. In the state of our culture, watching movies and films has become a passive pastime. You're not actively engaged. You're scrolling on your phone while you're watching.
Yeah.
I do it. You're doing errands. Me too. I'm speaking from experience. You're running errands, or I'm just like searching online for bullshit. Right. I'm not paying attention. Right. So actually sitting down and paying attention, which is also why I love doing Bitch Talk. Like, we can't just passively watch these films. We're interviewing the director or the actor, so we have to fully take it in, and I love that. It forces me to really engage with the film, and that makes it a really therapeutic experience, because a lot of the stories we cover are heavy and fun and whatever, but we feel a lot because of this show.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
maybe that's why we're exhausted. But yeah, I will say BTS on the interview we just did, there was a moment at the end where I felt like I was going to start crying again.
Yeah, I believe that.
But also because the films that we're watching and the films that are being made right now, again, Sinners, since it's out right now and it's in the cultural zeitgeist, the history and the story and what's going on like outside of that and trying to erase history. It's really important that people are paying attention and seeing these things on the big screen and having these conversations with your elders, with your kids, with your friends. It's important work that these filmmakers are doing.
Yeah.
So I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, you guys.
I
Anyways.
was on the news.
Oh, yeah.
On to something more important.
I mean, I might have to put that photo on something so people... Because, like, if I saw you... Okay.
You haven't seen it, though. You don't...
No.
We have
but
it on our DVR.
The photo that you had...
Ew, no, because... Okay.
It's hilarious. I would never think, oh, yeah, that's Ange on a bike ride ever. And I've known her for a very long time.
You think you know everything.
And I
You
don't.
know
Clearly, I don't know everything. Anyways, Ange can talk about that.
So my sister and I try to go on bike rides once a week. And in San Francisco, we just had the opening of Sunset Dunes Park, which was once the Great Highway, a stretch of freeway or a stretch of road along the along Ocean Beach in the outer Sunset. And since the pandemic, it's gone back and forth because they closed it off to cyclists and families for walking and playing and whatever. But post-pandemic, some of the people in the neighborhood wanted it to be revert back to a highway. So it became this whole fight. And we as a city voted on it.
Yes.
And overwhelmingly, it was voted to become a park, stay a park.
Correct.
And now there's
Full-time park.
And there's all of these protests, I'll put in quotations, and they're trying to recall the supervisor of that district. And it's just a lot of white noise because I'm really sorry. We voted on it and that's it. Like maybe vote again next time. But how often do we vote for something that didn't pass? You have to live with it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So anyways.
That's her tangent. Anyways.
Just my little side tangent. So,
but it's true.
The weekend that they opened the park, my sister and I went on a ride from our neighborhood through Golden Gate Park and down Sunset Dunes. And it was really fun. There's all these murals on the ground. There's like a hammock area. There's a little ramp area for kids to like ride their skateboards or bikes around.
So
it's
cool.
It's really beautiful. I love it. And they're still building it up. This is just the beginning. But it was just nice to see a space for a generational space, a recreational space for all ages, whatever it is. And it was a beautiful day. And so when we reached the end of the park, there was a news camera getting some B-roll of the kids.
And the weekend that it opened, yeah.
It was the weekend that it opened. And so he asked me if I would. And I guess it was the high of the ride. I was just like in such a good mood. I didn't realize, one, what I looked like.
She has a whole get up.
Well, okay, look, I have a road bike and the seat is not comfortable, but the thing flies. Like it's a perfect bike for the city, right? When you're riding up hills and stuff. And I have, I get sore easier, so I wear bike shorts, with the padding. Oh, sorry. Okay. We're in public and there's not a lot of people in this room.
No.
Okay, sorry. I get okay. So I have headphones on, so I can't tell how loud I'm talking.
Correct.
Okay, anyway. So I wear bike shorts that have the padding. It looks like you're wearing a diaper. And also, they're bike shorts.
Yes.
And I have, like, sausage
Anyway.
body, like salchichas, okay, on my body. So, and I have, because I don't want to carry a purse, so I have a biking vest. With the pockets in the back for my wallet or whatever.
I just had no idea. I just didn't know when she sent the photo.
Look, if I'm doing a casual ride, I don't have to do that. But we rode 20 miles that day.
The whole city.
So, and I didn't want to bring a purse, so I had my vest.
I'm literally crying, laughing.
And then, so I have a helmet, but the helmet hurts my forehead, so then I wear a bandana under the helmet. And like nothing matches, but I'm very comfortable. Like it's my biking outfit.
Oh my God, I have mascara on too.
So,
I forgot. She's crying. Oh my God.
So I get off my bike and my sister and I were just like had that was our halfway point in our ride. And I'm all high on like endorphins.
Sure.
And I was like, yeah, let's talk about the park. So he interviews me, and I was really proud of this interview because he asked me like, where I lived, how long I've lived there, what I thought of the park, what I thought of the controversy. And I was real honest, and I was, I come from the industry, so I was giving him good,
Sound bites.
one-liner sound bites. What they used on the news was like the lamest thing I said, but whatever. But then afterwards, I looked at my sister and I was like, oh my God, what do I look like? I didn't even look at myself before he started recording. I could have like gussied something up or like maybe taken off the helmet and the bandana or. So anyway. Oh my God. So she took a picture of me. I didn't know this, and I sent it to Erin and her husband Jeff. I was like, "Well, this happened.
Yep.
See you on the 5:00 news."
Yep. 5, 10, and 11 o'clock. 5, 6, 10, and 11 o'clock news.
Oh man. Yeah. So anyway.
So we've actually we kept talking about it all day. We're like, we have to record it. Totally forgot. I tried to look it up the next day on the interwebs. It wasn't there. Maybe it is now. But then Ange, I guess, did watch it and then immediately got like an email or text or something from people.
From this press person that we work with. And it was just like, saw you on the news. Looking great. Great job. I was
Looking
like,
great.
Oh my God. No. And then I gave him my real name.
Well, what would you have given them?
I don't know, Captain Party?
No, they wouldn't have used that.
Well, my sister, because I was like, ew, like obviously I didn't look cute, and they didn't even use one of my good bites. But my sister
anything
was like,
that Ange said, which is hilarious because she told me what her answers were not political, but they were comments about the city, which they asked for, and then they didn't use the good stuff that she said.
Yeah.
That wasn't...
I'll say it. The line they used of mine was... because I used to live in the Sunset when I went to San Francisco State, and I rode my bike. I rode my bike everywhere. And so the line they used was, "Oh, this park is so great. I wish they had it when I was living out here." Like that was the one. It was like the most boring.
Everything else was like very thoughtful.
Anybody else could have said that. It was the most basic whatever. But whatever, it's
That's
the
news.
Yeah, welcome.
That's corporate news, though. I'm just putting asterisks
Yeah,
since I work for a public radio station.
But also, like, don't you want to hear opinions, differing opinions? Anyways,
Right.
And why? Like, I was
Right.
given reasons, and anyway. And we do have to say that we've had you've had a couple of very heavy red wine dive bar evenings.
Oh, yeah. You guys...
Times are...
I don't know what to say about that.
Well, I had a friend in town, and I blame her for that night.
Yeah. No. I mean, look, we had a good time. And a very good time. We're going not as often, whatever. There's a bar that we like that we used to go to. Now it's back in our lives again because the bartender's awesome. 540
Slut.
Club. Ben on Sundays. Yeah, Soup Slut. He's an amazing bartender. We love him. And we started there, and then we ended at a place called Fizzy's in San Francisco, which, I mean, you probably do end on. And when I say night, like, it was like 8 o'clock at night.
But we had started at like noon.
Yes, we started at like 1:30, let's say.
Fizzy is what my liver looked like that evening.
Yeah, it was sad. And then the funniest part of that evening, too, was, it's like when dive bars pour wine up to the very rim
Yes.
of your cup, and you're like, this isn't good wine. Not a good decision.
It looked disgusting. But I wasn't even drinking.
Oh, no, it was so gross. And then, but I was playing good music,
Yeah.
and like we had a really captive audience. Look, I mean, yeah.
We are the old people that I once looked at the bar. I'm like, oh, good for them.
But
They're
we
still
weren't
getting
the
out.
oldest.
That's actually true.
So we're looking at the future that was sitting at the bar, which is kind of frightening.
They can't dance anymore because of their knees, bad knees.
I mean, a guy was waving his cane at us while we were dancing, which you've done before, actually. Remember that guy?
I did. Not until this
He
moment.
really loved Soul for Real, Candy Rain. I played that.
man.
Anyways.
Oh, that's funny.
So then, but the good decision that came out of that, but then we got moted, was that we were going to take our friend to Liho Yacht Club, which is one of our most favorite. It's a special night out restaurant, but because we had cheap wine, I did cheap wine all day, and all of us agreed that we were going to go. Ange made a reservation for the next day.
In quotations, I made a reservation. And it was 2, 4, 5 of us, so it's not like it was an easy number, it wasn't just 2 of us or 4. So we are running late the next day because my friend and I had this whole day in the city.
You had a great day, too.
Yeah, we got oysters at Hog Island on the Embarcadero, which is kind of a ritual when my friend is in town. And And then we went to see the Ruth Asawa exhibit at the MoMA, which I highly, highly recommend. Oh my God, it's so good. So like she has a lot of different art installations within the city, and she's known for her sculptures, but this had a big collection of like her sketches and paintings as well, which it's all incredible. It's all really, really cool. So highly recommend. Love the MoMA. First Thursdays of every month. If you're a local, if you're is it San Francisco or Bay? If you're a San Francisco resident, first Thursday of every month, you get to go for free, which is wild. But you will have to pay extra for Ruth Asawa because that's the special exhibit. Anyway, we were meeting up for dinner and we were running late. So Aaron and Jeff get there first, and he texts me like, they don't have a reservation, and this place is busy. Like,
yeah, we're lucky it was a Monday night.
Yeah, thankfully it was a Monday. And I was like, when I got it, I was with my sister and my friend, and we were almost out the door, and I was like, what? I got a text confirmation. What? Where's my reservation? And I went to check my text, and it literally said like, you signed into an account. This is not a booking confirmation. It was a confirmation that I have an account now with them to make a reservation. But because we were busy dancing, with the cane and Candy Rain, I didn't read the text. I saw I got a text and I was like, confirmed. I remember I yelled it to you guys too.
Yep.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
So I was super moted.
Super.
And then I was just like, well, ask if they have a reservation then, and then they did.
They did, thank goodness.
But yeah.
It was a fun night. Still a fun night.
But
yeah, cheap red wine at dive bars. That's my new thing. My new old thing.
Yeah, and speaking of old, I'm a year older.
Yes,
I'm now 44.
Yeah.
And I want to give a shout out. My sister got me a 90-minute scalp treatment. And I want to give a shout out to this place.
And little did you know that's what you needed.
I needed
in your life.
So the morning of my birthday, I get this email that my sister had gifted me this 90-minute, and I called them as soon as they opened, and I booked it for that day. I was like, I need this as soon as possible. I think I love a head massage more than anything. Really.
But why? You should give a background on that.
What do you mean why? Oh, because my sister my sister and my mom used to give me head massages.
When you were a kid, right?
Yeah. And, up until recently.
Well, actually, that's true. I was at your sister's house, and she was doing that for you.
Oh, was she? Oh, yeah. It's very good. And my mom, too. Even up until when I was living with her, I would just, like, plop my head, like, give me one. It's really comforting. Anyways.
Yeah, 90 minutes.
Yeah, so this 90-minute scalp massage, they're called TOU, Dao, DAO, Tang, TANG, and it's on Kearney Street. And they started off by giving you a glimpse of what your scalp looks like, and it's
she's been showing everyone.
I've been showing everyone because it's fascinating. Oh my God! So my scalp was both dry and oily. So like, fuck off. Like, thanks. Oh, sorry. Okay, we're in public. I'm like, cool. But it looks crazy. I mean, it's like a million times. I don't even know how zoomed in that was.
I don't know what that magnifying.
We can share it. Let's share the picture.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Nobody needs to see that.
Well, DM. Slide in.
DM? No.
Slide into the DMs.
She doesn't
if you want
know
to
what
see
she's
the
talking
photo.
about.
Okay. So basically, you're laying on this bed with your head above a sink, but resting. And there's this, like, it's in the shape of an arch, and it pours warm water over your scalp while they are like massaging and combing, conditioning, oils, like for 90 minutes. And I fell into a deep sleep. I woke myself up from snoring twice, and I like would have asked her to marry me. Anyways, highly recommend.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, it was luxurious, I will say. Yeah.
We also went to Benihana. We're going to start looking for sponsorship from Benihana.
Yeah.
So delicious. Every time.
It's my happy place, and I just wanted a low-key birthday, so, and I get a $30 off coupon.
Right, which is like 2 drinks, maybe, at Benihana.
We're trying to get better at this, but it's hard for us to talk about ourselves in a nice way. Not that we hate ourselves, but
there's just a lot going on.
I don't want to feel braggadocious or, but we were honored.
Speaking of SFFilm,
We were. It was a very nice surprise. Earlier this year, Aaron gets an email.
Yeah, I think like early February.
And forwards it to me with like 5 crying emojis.
Per the usual.
So I was like, oh, just another Tuesday.
Yeah.
And you can explain what the email was.
Well, SFFilm reached out and was like, we want to honor you in this year's Essential SF program that they've been doing for years. And we were joined by, what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4 other folks and or people that are essential to the
independent film
Sure.
creative industry within San Francisco.
Yes. And they think that they think and thought that we're essential to that. So we got to nominate someone who wanted to introduce us, and that person was H.P. Mendoza, who's a local filmmaker extraordinaire, who's been on the show a few times. So he said he would do that. And
he was the perfect
yeah.
fit for this, because when we think of San Francisco independent filmmaking, he's top of the list, both in his talents, but also just as a human being. Just a really beautiful person. We love him.
And his intro was so wonderful. He basically just called us a vibe, which that's true. I think that was right on point.
We were down.
Yes. And then so just Angie's sister, my husband, and my mom came, and it was just really sweet. We felt really honored, and everyone else that was honored in this year's program. It was great. It was a great group of folks to be a part of. So
it was a nice,
really
well-rounded group.
Yeah.
Some badass women.
Yep.
Speeches, and we didn't know that we had to give a speech
Right.
until like 4 days before.
I didn't think about that, and then I asked, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you just come up and talk." And we're like, "Oh."
So we're like, let's meet. So
Yes.
then we met at the bar. That was why. That was the red wine night.
Right.
Because we were actually working.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, full circle.
Full circle.
So yeah, it was a really fun night, and a lot of familiar faces in the room, and it's just nice to feel. We always say that we love our community, but it's nice to actually be face to face with them for occasions like that. And it was definitely unexpected, but it's nice, when you're working so hard to know that people recognize that.
Yeah, everyone always says it's not about the awards or recognition, but it's nice to be recognized. And it's true, because you're like, why am I doing this? You're like, oh, okay, people actually care about it.
And this is something that, like, they're not doing it for show or because we're doing something for them. It's like they meant it, and it wasn't for any other reason but to give thanks. And like, they wanted nothing in return from it. You know what I mean? It was like, it was meant, so it means more.
So we're essential.
I'm so essential.
But shout out to SFFilm.
If you
Thank
didn't
you so
know,
much.
now you know. So anyway, that's just a little catch up, and you're going to be hearing from our San Francisco International Film Festival coverage following this. But in the interim, we had a good talk about the show.
Good feedback.
With a very successful person in the industry. Yes. And it was a really eye-opening, food for thought kind of conversation that we really appreciated. These things are, you can't pay for moments like that. Just somebody being a friend and just talking us through things that we don't think to talk about because we're in the trenches, just trying to stay afloat as a two-person everything. So we got some interesting advice and things that we definitely agree with, and other things that we're marinating on. And one of them, which we've heard from multiple guests, was, so why is it called Bitch Talk? Because, when we describe our interviews being heartfelt and
crying
and just really connecting and asking not the typical questions, because we, however we describe it, he was like, it doesn't really sound bitchy. And then, we have reasons. Obviously, Aaron has major reasons why it's called Bitch Talk, and it is called Bitch Talk for important reasons. It's a good filtering system, as we've said. If somebody doesn't want to be on the show because of the name, then we don't want to talk to that. You know, that's like red flag.
Yep.
So there are reasons. But we did decide that we need to incorporate bitch more. hence our new segment called This Bitch.
Correct.
So after every episode, we are going to highlight a bitch, whether that's good or bad. Mm-hmm. But it's called This Bitch. Mm-hmm. So would you like to give yours first?
Yeah, so it was a toss-up because we thought about this a couple weeks ago and different things were happening. I think actually what was happening at the time was someone that we used to, this is a way callback, way back when we used to do the John Stamos Minute.
Oh, wow.
John Stamos, appeared at Mar-a-Lago to host some nonprofit thing.
No.
Yeah. So he's my first This Bitch, but then he posted a whole thing about what happened. It was the nonprofit reached out to him and to host this thing, and it was like Nurses of America or something like that. So it's about the healthcare system, and it didn't have anything to do with who's in power right now. It had everything to do with the nonprofit that he really wanted to support. So I was like, okay, that's fine. What are you going to do?
Why was the nonprofit having an event there?
Who knows? I don't know.
Of all places.
Right. I don't know. So that was my first This Bitch, but now this is more topical. So This Bitch is the entire crew, well, most of the crew, or just Jeff Bezos because of Blue Origin.
Those bitches.
Those bitches and that bitch, Jeff Bezos. So, I mean, everyone's seen the memes or seen the videos or just Katy Perry being ridiculous. But that's my This Bitch for this week.
Oh, that's such a good one. It's so many bitches.
So many bitches. I know, I'm sorry.
But, oh, man.
There's not anything else to say. And also, I'm talking about that because SFFilm, we covered a documentary about Sally Ride, the first American female in space who was an actual astronaut. And to talk about that the same week that Blue Origin happened, it's just like...
That was very meta.
It was too much. It's too much.
Because this bitch is Sally Ride.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a life.
Yeah.
Wow, yours were really good
You're welcome.
ones. Good ones.
Thank you.
Okay, so I have two as well. The first one is, so we talked about how we were at this bar and Aaron was drinking a lot of red wine. Fast forward to 4 days later, we bumped into the same person twice.
Oh, this bitch.
Our newest friend, his name is Casey.
Casey.
And we bonded with him immediately. He was dancing with us all night. And then flash forward to 5 days later.
Yes. Another dive bar.
Well, we were at another dive bar that was a good 5 blocks away. But why were we out that night? Oh, because of friends in town. We had sushi dinner.
Yeah.
And then Aaron and I were like, okay, let's go have one more drink. Famous last words. There she was with another full glass of red wine at a different dive bar.
It's fine.
And in walks Casey.
Yes.
This bitch.
Yes. Screaming.
And I'm pretty sure we yelled that at him. This bitch.
Yes, we did.
I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's my this bitch.
I love Casey's my new favorite San Francisco unicorn.
Well, neighborhood friend and just
hilarious.
Full of life, very energetic, very young.
But likes all the music we do.
Yeah.
That's how we bonded.
But he's got a lot of energy and he's very youthful and refreshing energy.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Okay.
So that's my first this bitch because we'll see him again, I know. And then my second one goes out to my co-host.
Oh,
this bitch.
What did I do?
No, just for being my friend. And she got me, she knows that I want to I'm writing more and stuff. And so for my birthday, she got me a gift certificate for these writing courses.
Yes.
And I got it last night and I was like, this bitch.
Yeah.
So thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
Love you.
Love you. Ew. Gross. But shout out to Casey, seriously.
Let's go listen to some Katy Perry and...
Nope. Absolutely no. No, thank you. Nope. Send her back to space. We don't want her anymore.
Anyways, so this was your exhausted, cracked out basic, but we will have more exciting updates for you. We have a new episode that we will be highlighting our favorite neighborhoods and our favorite places in those neighborhoods. So
in the next couple months,
be on the lookout for that. And there might be a live event for your ass happening. So we're on the move. It's all happening.
Thanks for joining us on today's show. You can find more information about this episode in our show notes.
If you're missing us, you can visit us at bitchtalkpodcast.com to sign up for our newsletter and buy us a cup of coffee.
Did you know we're also on the radio? You can find us at bff.fm.
And lastly, rate and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. All the cool bitches are doing it.
This podcast is a proud member of the BFF.FM podcast network. Learn more at podcast.bff.fm.
BFF.FM, best frequencies forever.